Liberals in Congress now want a tax to pay for the war in Afghanistan. That story tops our 2-minute drill. Joining us, Matt McCall of Penn Financial, attorney Tamara Holder, and Bob Rice of Tangent Capital. Let's start the clock. President Obama is holding a high-level meeting tonight on Afghanistan. He's going to discuss the issue again tomorrow with the Indian Prime Minister. But with Capitol Hill shut down for Thanksgiving, a decision on possible troop surge is not expected until next week. Now the chairman of the House Appropriations Committee is about to give the president another headache. Democratic Congressman David Obey says that if the administration wants more troops, he will demand that they be paid for with an across-the-board income tax surcharge. Another such surcharge. Matt, can we afford it?
We cannot afford that, first of all. Second of all, I have a big issue with this because you're putting our troops at harm's way because we're now going to debate whether or not we should tax before we put more troops in Afghanistan. I can see this going on already. There's going to be a big debate on the Hill. Meanwhile, our troops are getting killed over there. I hate to say that. I mean, this is very dangerous.
More than that, our troops just want an answer.
Yeah.
They just want it clarified. I mean, this thing's dragged on for months without an answer, Tamara.
Yeah, it's typical Obama politics, though. It's like, make a decision, and then we'll think about it later about, the repercussions. For example, Guantanamo. Are we going to bring the troops here? If we do, then what do we do with them? Same thing.
Bring the prisoners here, yeah.
Yeah, bring the prisoners here. But, same thing. Send the troops over there, but how do we pay for it? It's like, make the decision and make it in its entirety.
Well, the last thing we need is more House leaders participating in the Afghan decision. We got too many cooks in that kitchen already, which is very clear from the fact you're pointing out.
Well, and he's the commander-in-chief, but he's not acting like it.
Well, no, he needs to make that decision, and he certainly doesn't need to listen to any more House Democrats when he makes that decision. The only good news here is it is an interesting thing. It does bring some focus, and I don't want to hold up the decision on Afghanistan over this, but it does bring some focus on the cost. It costs about $1 million per GI per year to put them overseas, and that's an important statistic. So 40,000 troops,
all the logistics and everything,
right? All in, it's about $1 million per person, and so 40,000 troops is $40 billion. It's real money.
Well, one would have thought he'd thought all this through, but perhaps not. The government debt is $12 trillion, and of course it's rising. Protesters are mocking Uncle Sam by taking to the streets with tin cups in hand. The U.S. Treasury might not be taking these extreme measures, but thanks to a little-known law, they do take tax-deductible donations to pay down the debt. You can send a check directly to the Treasury or include it with your tax return. Soon, you'll be able to contribute online as well. So paying down our debt is your check in the mail. Would you do something like that, Tamara?
I don't have enough money to donate back to the government. They tax
Not
me
many
enough.
people have done it, by the way. It's something like $3 million total.
Right, right. And the largest one was $3.4 million, I don't know, in the 90s or something. But what is the point? It's going to take $15 billion $100 contributions in order to actually solve the deficit problem.
And Bob, the point is that when you give money to something in Congress, they use it for something else.
That's really the problem. I think we should all join hands and say we would give the $40,000 that all of us would have to give individually to wipe out the debt. I'd almost be willing to consider it if they would actually wipe out the debt, but we know that they'll just turn around and spend it again.
Matt, that's why when they say let's use the refunded TARP money to pay down the debt, I say no, because if you don't keep accounts separate, they're just going to use this money for something else.
Oh, of course they will. I mean, that's what we talk about here. It seems like every day, we're spending money on the war, we're spending money on health care. But I would love to know who donated that $3.5 million. I'd just like to talk to somebody. Who's going to give the government money?
Well, somebody did put it in their will. At one point, somebody said, I'm sorry, I think it was an immigrant who'd made a lot of money here, was so grateful to the government for giving him the opportunity. I can understand that.
Sure, but where did that money go?
Well, that's the question.
That's the question.
In Washington.
42 seconds of interest running.
And I'll take a $3.4 million donation.
All right. Well, both Democrat and Republican lawmakers are criticizing current Treasury Secretary Tim Geithner, and now some of them are dropping J.P. Morgan Chief Jamie Dimon's name to replace the embattled Geithner. Dimon has been a longtime Democratic supporter and has ties with President Obama from his days running Chicago-based Bank One. Will Dimon replace Geithner? What do you think?
I'm guessing no. And the reason, I think he's a great choice, actually, personally, but I don't think he plays so well in Middle America. I mean, isn't everybody tired of all of these Wall Street guys just cycling in, cycling in, cycling in? Don't they want to change the pace?
Well, it'd be worse if it was Goldman Sachs.
At least he's not Goldman Sachs. Everybody there is from Goldman Sachs already. I mean, everybody left. Right. I think this is actually a great choice. Unfortunately, I do not think there's a chance that it will happen because, like Bob just said, Middle of America, is against Wall Street right now. It really like Jamie Dimon is kind of for big business. He wanted to grow his bank a bit more. So I think it'd be fantastic for our country, for our economy, but unfortunately, I do not think it will happen.
Geithner's all about Wall Street. I mean, when he was head of the New York Fed, he was almost directly representing Wall Street.
Right, but nobody's really focusing on that. They're focusing on the fact that he was a tax cheat. Right. And what's really interesting about this is Obama is just remaining silent. That's typical Obama as well. He, remains silent about all issues. He needs to just come out and say, you guys, this is our Treasury Secretary, and it is what it is. I appointed him. Shut up.
He did the first part of that today. He made a statement. The first thing out of his mouth was Treasury Secretary Geithner. So does that mean they're not going to throw him under the bus?
They're certainly not going to throw him under the bus yet. Not yet. I mean,
they've done that to some of their allies.
They'll get to the point. If unemployment doesn't turn around, somebody will have to be thrown under the bus, and it probably will be him.
Yeah, but the problem is, look at what he stepped into. I mean, didn't the government come out and say our unemployment is not going to go above 8%, and they took a lot of credit for it. Now the government is going to blame everything on Geithner. He's a scapegoat. They'll get rid of him, and suddenly things will turn around. That's not going to happen.
That's politics. Come on.
But he's had a year to turn it around.
Okay, again. So, will the real Sarah Palin please stand up? Time for Buy, Sell, or Hold. We take the names and stories in the news. We treat them as if they're stocks. Would you buy them, sell them, or hold them? While Sarah Palin's book, Going Rogue, is a bestseller, there is a rival book. It's called Going Rogue, An American Nightmare. It's a parody book about Palin, and as you can see, it looks pretty similar to the other one. In fact, some media outlets have shown the wrong cover when reviewing Palin's book. So Going Rouge rather than Going Rogue, An American Nightmare, is that a buy, sell, or hold?
I'm going to buy it because, America makes some money. It's great marketing in my mind.
One buy?
Buy. Sarah Palin is worth a lot of money.
Two buys. Even the parody is worth money.
I like the free market a lot, but as an author, I don't want anybody leeching off my book, so I'm going to sell it.
All right, one sell, two buys.
I'll buy it. We need
Another
to laugh
buy.
in times like this.
As long as you spell the name right, that's the word in publicity. It's good publicity. Scoreboard says it's a sell. Well, New Moon was the box office winner this weekend, $140 million worth. But the big surprise was The Blind Side. Now, The Blind Side stars Sandra Bullock. It's the inspiring story of a Baltimore Ravens offensive lineman named Michael Orr, based on the book by Michael Lewis. The low-budget film took in more than $34 million. But with the holiday movie season approaching, can The Blind Side continue to bring in the box office bucks?
This is a definite buy. I mean, this is the type of movie in this environment that we all want to see a good ending. Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
One buy.
There are a lot better holiday movies right around the corner.
One buy, one sell.
This might be a guy thing. I'm a buy. I used to work with Michael Lewis. It's a great book.
He's a great storyteller.
He's a great storyteller.
So it should be a great book.
I'm all for inspirational stories.
All right.
So
Absolutely. That's one formula for success. I'm a buy. Scoreboard says it's a buy. Well, former CNN anchor Lou Dobbs is considering a run for the presidency. Mr. Dobbs, who left CNN earlier this month, said in a radio interview, quote, "We've got to do something in this country." And more than 3,000 people apparently have pledged $600,000 on a website pushing Dobbs' candidacy. We haven't been able to verify that number independently, by the way. Dobbs running for the president. Is that a buy?
This is a huge sell. He has no shot at all at presidency in my mind. He's just wasting his time. He wants to be in the limelight. He needs a limelight. That's what he's looking for.
One sell.
I'm going to hold it. He's already been in the limelight. He's popular on TV, and we have to wait to see what happens.
Hold.
2 words, Rudy Giuliani. You can look really good a year ahead of time, but sell, yeah.
Sell.
I'm going to hold.
Hold. I say it's a sell as well. And Scoreboard says, all right. They're putting it on hold. Well, ClimateGate, is that proof that man-made global warming theories are fraud? If you think it is, it's a buy.
I think it's a fraud. So I'm buying this, absolutely, yes.
One buy.
Buy.
Two buys.
I got to hold. It's a complicated topic. We're going to hear a lot more. There's a lot we don't know.
Evidence.
Yep.
I agree.
All right, but I say it's a buy at home. 86% said buy, 13% sell, and 1% hold. Well,